where we are discussing about the tagging concept, like how tagging helps in sorting the data and retrieving it later. So the next part of that, we cover the uh, all the tags and all everything, all details, how it improves sorting, all these details we covered. Then whether tags are only necessary or along with folders you use, that gives you added advantage. All these things we covered. Next we moved into your predictive modeling, where we discussed like how predictive analysis helps in improving the performance of the organization. So now let's move over to the next part of your syllabus, the predictive and modeling and all whatever we dealt with, the predictive analytics. So where it finds applications. So this is the final portion of your second module. So this already like we had partially covered in your like previous class itself, where I told you like your HR persons use this predictive analysis. Depending on that, they start hiring the people, like whether like a person will be staying for it, will be loyal to the company or not, depending on their predictions, they hire this student or the person. Next we also discussed about like churn prevention means churning means when the customer moves out of a company is called as churning. So if the customer feels like he is getting better offers in different other companies or brands, and he is getting cheated in this particular brand, in that case the customer moves out. So your predictive analysis helps you avoid all those things. So in all this like logistics also, I told you like Amazon, suppose some delivery is happening, so they use predictive analysis to predict which will be the optimal way to travel, like to reach the customer. So all these details already we covered. So today again we'll like have a look at what are the applications, like some other new applications of your predictive analysis. So targeting. The first application is customer targeting. So as you know, suppose you have a company or a like shopping mall kind of thing. So you get promotional offers on your mobiles, or register mobile numbers or your mail IDs. So like in Myntra, Amazon, Flipkart also, if you are a registered customer, you get like promotional offers, all this, like some this big billion day is coming, or this Great Indian Festival, these kind of like promotions when they go for, they send you mails, you get messages, all these things. So how that is happening and why that is happening? So why is the answer is because they want to increase their productivity, they want to increase their profit by sell, like increasing the sales and all these things. So this is basically a advertising step that they undergo. So because of that you get all these messages and all. So how, where does predictive analysis comes in here? So just think of suppose there is you have a showroom of Decathlon, suppose. So Decathlon, you have all your sports products in your showroom. So you have all the customers who suppose had some time bought something from your showroom. You have all the contact details and all. So if there is some offer in suppose dumbbells, okay, in the gymming products, if dumbbells you have some offer, so you are planning to like send the promotions to some of the young like members of your showroom or young customers. So obviously you have to shortlist among all your customers who all are in young category. You cannot sell the promotion of a dumbbell to a 80 or 90-year-old person. Okay, so that depends. So here predictive analysis comes in, because depending on the analysis of the the team or the predictive analysis team, you need to send the promotion based on like needs, or based on like wishes of the customer. You cannot send, as I said, you cannot send the promotion of a dumbbell to a 90-year-old person. You obviously will be sending that to some young generation, like somebody who is in its teen or 20s, 30s, those kind of people might use your dumbbells. So that is called as customer targeting. Is it clear? Hello? Was it clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That is the first thing that you go for customer targeting. So customer targeting comes in like gets an added edge if you have predictive analysis. So next is churn prevention. So this like partially we had covered in the previous class also. So churn prevention, churning means like if a customer is feeling like he's like sometimes they get pissed off with some brand, so they might leave the brand, they might go to some other brands who have better like outputs, outcomes, or better promotions, better loyalties to the customer and all. So to avoid that, you need to have a predictive analysis. So how do you go about that? So suppose, as I told you the example of Surf Excel previous time. So suppose your parents have been using, so obviously you will be also first preferring that. But sometimes you might see that your roommate or your friends are using some other brand, suppose say ADL or some other brand. So you might also think of getting into that if you get some promotion from the other, like some like benefit from the other brand. So that's how, if your predictive analysis team of Surf Excel, they can know that there is a chance of a particular person leaving the brand, they can give more promotions to that brand, that particular person. So the person will be ultimately leave and he won't leave the brand, rather stick to the brand. So why we need to do this? Because like getting new customers to a company is actually tough. But if a already existing customer is there, it is easier to make them like stick to your brand, make them stick to your company. But if like getting new customers becomes really troublesome, it is a costly affair, it's a tiring affair. So best thing is, don't let your customers go. The existing customers should not go. So that churn prevention is possible because of predictive analysis nowadays. Next is sales forecasting. So as you know, like there are promotional offers in different. Like you might have seen the advertisement of First Cry, right? So there's a site called First Cry for the kids and toddlers. So what happens is, see, Amitabh Bachchan comes as a brand ambassador of First Cry. So they give you the ad that every day you have different something new in the site. So 365 days they promote it as like 365 days. Then for each day you have a different fashion. So how they promote their products in the site. So for, if it is a summer time, so they'll promote like summer products are in. If it is a springtime, they'll promote that spring items are in. If it is autumn, they'll promote that these are the autumn clothes or winter clothes. So these are the promotions that come in depending on the predictive analysis. So they can forecast what kind of sale is in demand. Accordingly, they promote try to get in those products and try to promote those particular products. Was it clear? Yeah, was it clear? Sales forecasting. Yeah, was it clear? Yeah, just let me know. Was it clear? Could you understand this?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So next, let's move into the market analysis. Okay. So what is this customer targeting? Okay, let me tell you one more thing. So whatever I am discussing, you need to know about all these things like customer targeting. Suppose you are going, so you need to know how, where all this customer targeting finds usage. So like what all you need to see if you are targeting the customer. So these are the deciding factors, like socio demographic factors. As I told you, uh, as a decathlon owner, you cannot sell the send dumbbell promotions to some aged person. You need to send that to young people. So all these are decided by all these factors, like socio-demographic factor, like the age of the person, job of the person, marital status. Then the engagement factors, like recent how engaged the person is to your showroom. Like some person, if he has bought just once in his entire lifetime, there's like hardly any benefit you'll get by sending promotion to that person. So if the, rather if somebody is very frequent in your showroom, they visit it regularly, they get buy products from your showroom, so it is more like likely that if you send the promotion to them, they will be like availing that promotion. Next is past campaign factors. So like previously how the person has responded to your past campaign, like previously when you sent the promotion, did the person come and all, or did the person actually complain against you that you are bothering him? So all these things also comes in. So next in churn prevention. So in churn prevention also, like to avoid customers move out of your company, what all you can use, you can like analyze the socio-demographic variables, like whether what is the gender, age. Depending on that, you can use different like promotion to the person. You cannot apply the same promotion to every person. Rather, the promotion that you apply can be like depending on the socio-demographic variable, then engagement variable, like how if you are buying a particular product very frequently, then the promotion will be actually beneficial. Then technical incidents, like customer service calls. Did you like call or did you inquire about promotion? So depending on that, if somebody is regularly inquiring about the promotion, so it's obvious that he is interested. So if any new promotion comes, you just let the person know. Then competitor variables. So like you need to also give them comparison with your competitors so that they get attracted and all. So these are like some uses. Next is sales forecasting. As I told you, depending on the weather, suppose in your site you sell like suppose you can see in winter, Mintra will be giving offers in the woolen clothes. Okay, so that's how the sales forecasting works. So that is also a like application of predictive analysis. Next is your calendar data, like season hour, all these things. As I told you, like you have your midnight rush sale, all these kinds of things. Like when you see that people are active during that time, accordingly you give that promotion. Like weather data, as I told you, temperature, humidity, rainfall. In like suppose rain summer season, if you have a sale on winter clothes, so obviously people won't be buying that time. So that's the way the predictive analysis works. So you can anyway go through all these things and upload the sites. Next is quality improvement. So how to improve the quality of the product. So the first thing is how predictive analysis helps in improving the quality. So what will happen is suppose product characteristic, the component, how it is like is it presentable or not, the customer characteristic, gender, all these things, customer service. So all these three things if you take into consideration, so that will ultimately help you improve the quality of the product. Because depending on, like suppose you have a rating kind of thing given to the customers and the customer give you the rating, so you need to analyze that, and accordingly your predictive team should like suggest the owner that these are the changes, people are complaining about these things. So in the next 5 years you can go for improving all these things. Next is risk assessment. So risk assessment means it will deal with like risk compared to like your competitors. So you predictive analysis team should also have an analysis of your competitors, that they are now launching this product. So the like interest in the company, like people have risen to that product more. So now we should come up with a competitive product in our side also. So all this risk assessment should also be done by the predictive analysis team, so that your company is able to like compete with others. Next is financial modeling. Okay, so as I told you in the previous class also, we need to go for in financial modeling, what you can do is you need to have a predictive analysis, where your predictive analysis team should be able to give you suggestions based on finance. Like what kind of a, like you cannot reduce the product of your company to a very like low level so that your product gets sold. Rather, an optimal point has to be decided, so that all things can be judged by your predictive analysis team. They'll help you predict what should be the optimal cost, so that you don't lose money in the market, you don't like charge more from the customer. So all this financial analysis thing, financial modeling also can be handled by your predictive analysis team. So these are the applications. So from your exam point of view, as in your cat, I'm like, you would need to have a look of or look at all the predictive analysis team, like first module, second module, obviously everything is there. In the predictive analysis thing, you need to also have an idea, like whatever was in slides, I cannot directly put all those things. So you have to have an idea of all the applications where predictive analysis, in which companies you can use with proper examples. Okay, like if you think something, you need to put all those things in your exam. Okay. Next comes top 5 predictive models and their applications. So this is just one example of what kind of predictive models exist nowadays. So there are like basically 5 types of models. There are different models, but 5 most prominent models exist. So first of them is the naive-based classifier. Like most of you might have already used this. So this naive-based classifier is the basic classifier. So that also helps you in predicting. So where you might use, you might use it in your facial recognition, your email spam detection, weather prediction. So you might have already used the naive-based classifier also, the algorithm, how the naive-based classifier is implemented. So that is a basic example of a predictive model where it can predict the outcome. Next is decision trees. So decision trees also most of you might have used. So this is also basically like you use it for classification, regression, and all these things. So generally in healthcare management, remote sensing, fault diagnosis, all this your decision trees come in. So this is also a predictive analysis tool. Logistics regression also is logistic regression is also one of the predictive analysis tool. So logistic regression, what happens is you try to reach the optimal value. Okay, so suppose whatever outcome you get, you try to reach the optimal value in mathematical way. So the outcome is generally like yes or no. Okay, it is used to predict a binary outcome, which is like either yes or no given a set of independent variables. So in your handwriting recognition, software cost prediction, credit scoring and all, you can use this logistic regression. Then your ANN is the fourth type of predictive analysis. Some of you might have used this also, like ANN in your like research projects and all. So in image processing, in forecasting, medical diagnosis and all, your ANN comes in. And this also like ultimately, this is like you already might have known all this concept, but you never assumed that this was predicting something. This is actually predicting the like it is able to classify something, it is able to predict what class the input belongs to. So that's why all these things can be categorized as your predictive analysis tool. The K means clustering. So here what happens is you cluster means you groups a group of things as a particular group. If suppose there are different input data, you group a particular data as suppose some per category. So that is called as K-means clustering, and obviously you use that for like classifying purpose. So it can be used as a predictive analysis tool also. So mostly in computer vision, market segmentation, as I told you, cluster things and then classify. So that is market segmentation, agriculture and all. You get to use this K-means clustering. So these are like various approaches that exist for your predictive analysis. So in your, let me just show you syllabus. So you have your tags to organize the data, tags to pre-process large data set, predictive models for forecasting and applications of the predictive models. So this all we covered till now. So the third module starts with simulation scenarios. Okay. So I won't be getting into the details, but let me just tell you what is simulation. Okay. So on your IoT project, whatever you do, suppose you want to do it in hardware first, the best thing is first have a simulation based thing for your product. So that like if if it performs well in simulation, then go for hardware implementation, because hardware implementations are costly, it is a tiring affair, and it is actually, it requires lot of effort from you. But software simulation, if you do, that is obviously, you know, that that is easier, that is like undo, you can do, you can change, so it doesn't like cost you. Okay, it is not like a costly thing, it doesn't take lot of time for you from you. It like, if there is some mistake, you can simply undo it and do it again. So it is not like, it is very easy compared to the hardware counterpart. So the first thing, if you are going for hardware implementation of any IoT product, the thing is, you need to know that first go for a software simulation. So if the software simulation works, then only prefer to do a hardware simulation, because if you directly go for hardware simulation, obviously if there is some mistake, your entire money, your entire time, effort, everything will go. So that's all, is basic of the third module, which is like software simulation, like simulation scenarios, like models, what kind of models exist to simulate the real world thing and all. So that all will cover in the next class. So that's all for today. Any doubt you have? Was it clear? Yeah. Was it clear whatever we discussed?
Ma'am, what will be like the pattern of the question paper, ma'am? Like, we will have class only after the CAT, so this is our last class, right, ma'am? So can you explain the pattern or some model questions?
So there are four questions. So out of that, three you have to answer. Okay. So or each is of 10 marks. So each question has like sub bits, and I have marked like which bit contains how many marks. So accordingly you will be evaluated, and obviously one first and second module, all the slides you can go through, but apart from the slides, have an overview, like need not like mug up the slides or something, just have an understanding what exactly we discussed, so that you can answer the because the questions are generalized, they are not specifically asked for a particular concept. So you need to analyze what all, for why, yeah, like it is product specific. So suppose for your product, what kind of things you need to follow, all those kind of things you will get. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so let me just give you the poll, you can answer and then you can. Out of four, you have to answer three. So all are descriptive type only. When is your exam anyway? This is being
Monday,
on Monday, right?
Monday,
Monday
ma'am.
what time? Monday what time?
10 to 11.
9 to 10 or 10 to 11.
9 to or 10 to?
I'm 10, 10 to 11.
And just given the question, you can answer and then give. Okay, I have told you, like those who are I'm stopping the recording.